everyone. Today I am doing something a little different. I've got a 3DO here, a Panasonic FZ-10 model. It worked great for many years, but it quit reading discs, and I had spent quite a while trying to find places that repair classic systems and never had much luck at it. So after a little research online and a little I guess bravery on my part to try and fix this, I was reading up that with this particular model, sometimes what's the problem with some of the older CD drives is that they kind of stick, you know, the lubrication and stuff doesn't stay as well as it should. So I think that might be the problem with this one, so I'm going to try and fix it today. But first I'm going to show you what it's doing. Now, with the this model, of course, it is the top loader. Up here you've got a little latch that comes down when the door closes here. And then this button here pushes down on the side to show that the drive's closed, so it'll work. So I'm going to push this down. I'm going to borrow a lightsaber here and push this down. And then if we turn it on, you'll watch as it starts. See, the disc spins, but what you're not seeing underneath is that the drive head doesn't move. I've had this apart and tried to do this, and it just doesn't work. So what I've read you can do in this instance is get some silicone grease, and on the drive head there are two metal tracks that the laser head moves on, and that sometimes the lubrication on those wear out, and if you replace it, you may get the drive head to start moving again. So what I'm going to do is a first video in the adventure of console repair. So I'm going to take this apart, open it up, kind of give you an idea what the inside looks like, and then see if we can get the drive head moving. So as usual with electronics, unplug it before you go in. And of course, keep in mind, I got an FZ-10, so I have a replacement 3DO, which is why I'm brave enough to actually try this at this point, because this has actually been having this problem for quite a while now. So, follow along if you think it might work for you. Give it a try. Just keep in mind that you're doing it at your own risk. So on the bottom of the unit here, we just have basic Phillips screws all the way around. Looks like there's 7. So I'm going to try and get these removed here on camera. The shooting area is just not very big currently, so I know I'm kind of pushing it with some of the things I've been shooting lately, but it's kind of fun, and hopefully this is educational for somebody, and hopefully it even works, because the only thing better than one working 3DO is 2. So see, like these are very deep indents, but there's no screws in them. So, and back in the day, I did open this up just to kind of look to make sure it wasn't something silly like a missing cable, or something worked loose over time. So I at least did some preliminary looking here, and it really wasn't anything in there. But I've been watching a lot of console repair videos. There's Luke Morse, I think it's Luke Morse, who's in Japan, and he does a lot of cool things, arcade system, restoring repair, all sorts of stuff. He's a cool guy. And then there's another one I've been watching, was it Kainkusanagi, I think? And he does some cool stuff, but he hasn't been on in quite a while, so I don't know what's up with him, but his videos are still there. Alright, so I got the screws removed, so this is just a straight lift. There's absolutely nothing in here as far as a screw or cable or anything. It's just a couple mechanical switches there you push down. And so you can see the inside of the FZ-10. Now, what we're interested in is right here. If you look here, that drive head is stuck right in the middle. If I turned it on, it would just stick. So really what we got to do is we got to get in here get this out here. And I just have to remember how to actually pull these out here. Let's see. I think we just need to get something to pry in there with, because it doesn't look like any of it's screwed down. Those are where those 4 indentations are. Oh, I remember what I did. Okay, because I did have this case opened up once before. There's probably no way this will come off on camera, but if you can see down the hole, like here, there's a peg that sticks through and it kind of holds everything together. So what I did is I shoved a screwdriver in there and just kind of pushed on it from the bottom to try and pop it out. It's probably not the correct way to do it, but that one popped loose, though. See, there it goes. And the other one is in here. And try not to touch any of the circuit board while you're doing this, because you don't want to try and touch bare circuit board. There we go. That one popped off over here, and then went on the floor. Alright, well that's alright. I will pick that up in a minute. So now, there's one little piece of tape there that's kind of holding it on here. So, if you can see in here, I don't know how well that'll show, but it looks like there's grease on there, but I'm not sure how good it is anymore. And my theory is, if I can get in there on both sides and get some grease on that, especially on this part over here that turns, see how it's stripped like that? That's the twist, and then the motor moves back and forth. I'm hoping that the grease is just worn down on it and that it's actually not like the motor or anything dead. So what I'm going to do is try and get some grease in there and move the drive head around and see if I can get it, you know, moving a little easier than this. And then hopefully this will get it working. Now, of course, this is adventures in console repair because I've never done anything like this before, so I'm going on a lot of theory and guesswork, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so I am going to stop here, try and get the grease on there, and I'll be back in just a moment. Alright everybody, so I've got the grease on. I just kind of got on my finger and kind of dabbed it up along both of them and kind of pushed the drive head back and forth to hopefully kind of spread it around. Now I've got it turned on. You can see the light over there. I've got a disc on it. I do not have the shield in place over the drive. This little switch here, once I push it down, should make it think that everything's closed and it should try and read the disc. I'm hoping if the drive head decides to move, we may see it come up over here just so I can show that it worked. So let's see what happens. You can see it spins up pretty well. The access light is green over here. I believe it was doing that before, but whether the actual drive head's moving or not is... it's hard to say. I'm trying to look underneath to see. I'm not sure. I don't think it's moving, but... we'll see here. It's definitely doing an awful lot of activity there. And it stops, so I don't know. This may not be working, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to take the drive head, and I'm going to move it down here, because it does not move at all by itself. So I'm going to put it back on, turn it on, and I'm going to pretend the door is closed and see what happens. See, the laser assembly moves up and down. But nothing's moving, so I don't know if it thinks it's parked. Let's see. See, I don't know if it's off gear or what. Let's try here, moved up a little bit. So looking down the side here while the disc is spinning, it doesn't look at all like the drive head's moving. So I'm thinking this may not have worked. So maybe it is an actual motor that's gone out. I was kind of hoping it would be just kind of a quick fix here, but it's not looking good. Let's see if I turn it on without a disc even showing on here. We'll see what it does. See, it reacts, it just doesn't appear to move, so I wonder if maybe the cross motor here is actually just not working. Not much of anything going on, so. Alright, so maybe the grand experiment didn't work today. Alright, well, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to lower the camera down. And this is turned off, and it is unplugged. So the drive assembly is just sitting on these 4 rubber pieces. And you can see underneath there, there's not a whole lot to it. I assume over here is the motor for the actual drive to move. Let's see. It looks like there's just a few ribbon cables here. Probably this one's power. So I don't know if we can get these actually pulled loose. So we can pull it up here and kind of look a little bit. See, there's like a little screw there, which probably works the drive. Don't know if I could turn that and get anything out of it. You know, because I had hoped the drive here was just kind of needing some new grease. I don't know if this will actually do anything. I think my screwdriver is too big. Yeah, it looks too big in there. But, let's see. Can't quite get my fingers in there to pull this one loose. That's okay. You can get pretty good access here. Look under here. I mean, everything looks attached pretty well. The soldering on the wires on the drive here look pretty good. There's like a cross shaft that goes in here that connects to this that moves it. Let's see, up in here there are a couple little teeth that catch onto the main shaft that spins, and it looks like they are in the grooves, so it doesn't look like that's loose. So what I could do is maybe get a little screwdriver, get in here on this and twist it and see if that does anything with the motor. Maybe that'll loosen it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to try and find a better screwdriver for that. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. I tried to find a better screwdriver to kind of get in there. I had flipped it over and just to kind of look like this and around, and this brown wire here totally just popped off the solder. It was soldered right there, and you know, maybe that was the problem. Maybe this wire is just kind of given out and there was just not enough connection there, because I'm assuming these two coming in here are probably the positive and negative to power the motor. So maybe this wire was just going bad. So now, currently I don't have a soldering iron, so what I probably have to do is get a soldering iron or a soldering pen and peel back this wire a little bit and then resolder that, and then maybe try and take this one off and resolder it, and then put it together and see what happens. So I guess for now I'm going to put everything back where it was here as far as the ribbon cables and everything were concerned, and then come back and revisit this project when I get the soldering iron, and then we'll see what happens. So first attempted console repair was a strike, but you know, I've got, I don't know if I've mentioned this in videos before, but I've got 20 some odd consoles. The last time I kind of played through them, my 3DO FZ-10 here, my TurboGrafx CD, and my Jaguar CD were all having issues with discs. And I've looked online several times, and I've not had much of any luck finding a place online or whatnot that did repairs. So that's why I've kind of taken it on myself with this video to at least attempt something here. So I guess the adventure continues. If someone out there knows a way or a place that repairs classic consoles like this, please by all means let me know, because I would love to know if there's a place that even does this. Every place I found that does repairs only seems to do the current generation, which is, you know, fine, but you ask about anything older and they're like, no, there's no parts, there's no way, we can't even do it. So it looks, you know, I think the Kainkusanagi I had mentioned before, we'll try and put a link to him in the video. Pretty much he had a video on there once, and he just pretty much said, well, you know what, if you want to have them, you might as well get over being scared to work on them, because if you don't work on them, no one else will. So that's why I attempted today. Didn't appear to work, but you know, it's just the first round in the battle, so we'll try again. So hopefully this was at least interesting or hopeful for someone else, but we'll come back to this one eventually. So I'm going to cut it here, and I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together and put it back on the shelf. So thanks for watching. As always, like I said, this video, like we always say, is an experiment, you know, seeing what happens. So if you like it, comment, subscribe, you know, let us know how we're doing. So thanks for watching. Bye.